Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jarret Johnson. At 69-66, TCU defeated Texas Tech in Fort Worth, and this was a game that the Red Raiders were in control of for a majority of the game, and you have to tip the cap to the Horned Frogs. They came back, they won, they did it with their defense, they did it with an aggressive style. When Tech played TCU the first time, I questioned the Horned Frogs' toughness, but it's hard to argue with it. For Tech fans, I know they don't want to hear this, but I mean, you have to tip your cap and admit that they were tough. They had a good scheme. They forced Texas Tech in way too many turnovers, around 20 turnovers for the Red Raiders tonight. They played that, they trapped them. They full court pressed them a little bit, and that slowed down the game. And Texas Tech, down the last 5 minutes down the stretch of the game, they kept forcing tough shots at the end of the shot clock. And I'm not really sure why they slowed it down so much. I know that, of course, the trap slowed things down and took a lot of time off the shot clock. But, I mean, they had plenty of time to get in their offense and run some things, and they just couldn't. Too many turnovers. And then TCU got too many good shots. And they made them. So you got to give them credit. And Bryson Williams had a three that went in at the end of the game that would have tied it and sent it to overtime. But clearly, they only had 0.5 seconds. It was a full length of the court type deal. From pass from Adonis Arms to Bryson Williams. He caught it and kind of did a quick move to create separation and went up with a shot. And he drilled it, but clearly too much time, and it had passed. He didn't get the shot off in time, and TCU went on to the big victory. And there's a lot of implications from this outcome. On TCU's side, this probably gets them in the tournament. I mean, they win one or two more games. This probably gets them in the tournament. If they were on the bubble, they're in. It's a huge win for them. On Texas Tech's side of things, first off, they're denied that the Big 12 Texas sweep. That's not a thing. That's been put to bed. If you would have told me going into the season, Tech is either going to sweep Baylor, Texas, or TCU, I would have said, well, TCU is the one they're going to sweep for sure. Who's going to deny them? Probably Baylor. You haven't done that since 2005. Or maybe even Texas, obviously. But no, you sweep Texas, you sweep Baylor, and you split with TCU. So very disappointing result. The second thing is this almost guarantees that Tech will not get a 2 seed. They'll get a 3 seed. And, unless they could run the table and win the Big 12 championship, and then they'd be in contention for a 2 seed for sure. But barring that, they're pretty much going to be locked into a 3 seed. So huge implications. That means, in terms of the Fort Worth regional, that more than likely will probably go to Baylor now. They're at Dickey's Arena, so in the first round of the tournament. So there's just a lot of implications. We'll have to see how it shakes out. Nothing's set in stone, but in terms of the seeding, Tech looks like a 3 seed, which is good. I mean, look, Tech has been a 3 seed a couple times, and they made deep runs in the tournament, so it's okay. It's not just terrible. I mean, you'd rather them have the 2 seed, get to play, in Texas and all that, more than likely. But that's, no matter how you look at it, this was a tough result. This was a tough loss. You didn't want to split with TCU. Tech is clearly the better team, but TCU was better tonight. And you gotta, you gotta acknowledge. I mean, you can make excuses about this or that, but the bottom line is that TCU was the tougher team tonight. They made a big comeback. The defense worked in terms of the full court press and the trap, and then Tech just didn't respond. Too many turnovers. So there were some plays to be made, and but they couldn't make them. And at the end, TCU did make the shots. And Tech's defense was not down the stretch. I mean, too many layups, big open three where you had two guys guard one of their three-point shooters, but then both of them run away and leave him wide open, in which he buried. So it was a confluence of things that came together that happened for TCU to win. Of course, the student section rushed the court because they beat Tech. It's a big deal for TCU to beat Tech, and it was for them. I mean, like I said, that more than likely gets them in the tournament. So a lot of implications from the result. You thought it was just going to be if there is a ho-hum Big 12 game, you thought this would be up there, but that snaps Tech's 4-game winning streak. Tech had won 7 of 8, so it's a tough loss. It's hard to ingest the fact that Tech can sweep Baylor, sweep Texas, split with Kansas, but take them to double overtime in the one you lost in Lawrence, but then lose to Kansas State, Oklahoma, TCU. So there's some things to figure out for the Red Raiders. And I think this comes back to that weakness that there's no true point guard. I think the fact that Kevin McCullough is still gimpy hurts too. But, they've won without him in big games. So, like I said, no excuses. You got to tip the cap to TCU. You come back, finish out the regular season. Tech's going to be, I think a 3 seed at worst. So there's a lot of good things to look forward to, but tonight was definitely a tough pill to swallow. But with that, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.